Will SolaFide bounce back after two disappointing performances, at least for their standards here in Game 4 and 5? And will they close out a first-place finish, or will the likes of CLG, Mouse and Keyboard, you like that, mate, or potentially Team Liquid, Peanut Butter Sandwiches, or Cruelty, all really in the running with the potential to take a first-place finish if they have a pop-off game? And you already know we got to head on over to the land of SolaFide at Thermal Station as we jump on board with the kill leader, 18 kills, leading the way by at least 5 kills in the match finals. It's Designful, but I lied. I take that back here. It looks like we got a fight over on towards Harvester.
We know Shroud in 50-50 towards Harvester, and it doesn't look so good for them. Turns is the last one alive, and it doesn't seem like he has much of a chance to win this 1v3. He does have a Massive, and he is a Gibraltar, so maybe he's going to take his angles and try.
Yeah, they're currently in 17th place, fighting against the 13th place team, so it seems like some consolation kill points here for both of these teams, as neither of them are in contention for top 3. However, both of them are in contention for top 10. And just to remind everyone here, to set the stage for game number 6, there's 2 thresholds that are important. Placing top 3 overall in standings, because that gets you a guaranteed spot to the Winter Circuit playoffs at the end of March, and placing top 10, because that gets you a guaranteed spot to the next online tournament, which will be in February. So keep an eye on both of those thresholds here, as SolaFide currently your standings leader, and also there's top 3 prize pool payout as well that makes a big difference.
Absolutely. And SolaFide, they're lucky enough not to get contested like they were in Harvester, so they're going to be able to pick up all their loot safe and sound. But it looks like the map is not going to end in Trials, so Team Liquid, they're going to do Trials, and then they've got a long ways to go.
Yeah, and this is what's interesting about Trials. Obviously, if you want to commit to the Trials, you got to finish the Trials, which takes some time in its own right. But that's okay if your teammates are splitting over towards Skyhook, and that's why Team Liquid's been doing good this tournament. 5th place, they're getting Trials to themselves, Aberlelli, of course, and typically the team that drops there is able to get it to themselves. But typically, all 3 members of that team drop there. TSM Aberlelli is dropping in Trials by himself, while his 2 teammates are splitting, which is a split drop where one person drops somewhere, the other 2 or all 3 players drop somewhere else. That's a way to maximize looting efficiency here, and of course, he's still going to get all the shields that he wants for his teammates if they do need it, but it looks like Flanker's already pretty set in that category. He finds himself a gold shield.
Yep, he does indeed. And something we don't necessarily talk about a lot is the L-Star. It's not seen too much, but we did see it in the end game in the EU finals earlier today. But I feel like it's very, very good early game and late game, although it does not compare to the Massive whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of when you get to see some Peacekeeper action. You saw it with TSM at the end of that last game, getting some long-range chunks, but obviously it didn't work out too well for TSM as they were in the best position for that late circle. However, Team Liquid was in a pretty solid position. They got 2nd place to the hands of Mouse and Keyboard, who got 1st, and that, of course, is how game number 5 wrapped up, as we are on board now with game number 6. We're watching all of our top 10 teams. Team Cruelty currently in 7th place with 40 points. That's only 19 points behind SolaFide, so in order for them to get a top 3 finish here, they want to bank on the top 3 teams getting taken out early and a 15 to 20 point game if they want to contend. We'll see what Team Cruelty can do here, dropping over towards Overlook, and it looks like they're seeing something. Not sure exactly what their ping in is. I don't know. I'm not sure if we have X-ray vision on right now, but it must be a team nearby.
Realistically, if I were in a top 10 team, I would more or less focus on trying to get that 3rd place over like maybe potentially griefing SF and trying to win. So if you're in the top 10 right now, focus on yourself, focus on getting there. If SF dies early, great for you. If they don't, it's okay, because you can still get 2nd or 3rd place right now.
Yeah, well said. I agree. Top 3 is everything. Qualifying for the Winter Circuit playoffs, that's where the major prize pool is in the grand chunk of this $250,000 Winter Circuit prize pool. Of course, $1 million ALGS championships were announced. I am so excited for that. Winter Circuit playoffs will be qualifying teams to the ALGS championships for $1 million later this year. The other way to qualify is through cumulative ALGS points from Summer Circuit, Autumn Circuit, and Winter Circuit. So if you've been consistent, you get rewarded. I absolutely love this format by the same people, the same team that brought you Major League Gaming, if you remember MLG Pro Circuit days from way back in the day. EA's commissioner, it's John Nelson, the commissioner of the ALGS, used to work at MLG and was the mastermind, or one of the many masterminds behind that MLG format. Well, this is a flavor of that in competitive Apex. It's the most brilliant format I've seen in esports. I absolutely love what the competitive gaming team at EA and Apex have cooked up for us. Shout out to Ghostiami Shaheen, the Tabris, Mark, aka Viv, and of course the commish himself, John Nelson. You can follow John Nelson on Twitter at EA John Nelson. Keep up with the man himself.
I actually didn't know that about him. I used to play game battles myself, and I've bought a couple MLG hoodies. Yeah, my first MLG hoodie, I got to put my PlayStation tag on the back, which was pretty cool.
Oh,
but it cost $100, but for me, it was worth it.
Those hoodies were insane. They were like the best hoodies in the world, but they were certainly a pretty penny. I left my hoodie at an MLG event way back in 2009. Rest in peace. I missed that thing. The black MLG hoodies, those that remember. Shout out to Major League Gaming, the pioneers of esports, which really led the way to now we have first-party esports, right, with EA having their own competitive gaming team. Todd Citrin, the SVP of competitive gaming at EA, has done a phenomenal job building up competitive gaming at EA. Is now we find PB Sandwiches in a little bit of a fight here. Pao is going to get taken out. This is actually huge. Game number 6, Bowser, a competitive player who qualified, won a championship with Nicewig and 6 back in the summer circuit. He finds himself alone with Saucerer, formerly of the Flying Saucerers, who's going to be tagged up quite a bit here. Can Saucerer survive? No, it looks like it's something. It's Caustic Gas that's tagging him up quite a bit.
He is indeed getting naded 2 bits right now, and he's not sure where he can go. There might be a team in... Yep, there is a team sniping them from behind, and that is Reps from TSM that's going to pick up the down on Sauce. Hopefully, they'll be able to finish him off for that kill point. But this is PB and Sandwiches. They are in our top 10 right now. This isn't looking so good for them.
Yeah, that's big. It's the TSM hit list. They're trying to take out all 7 teams above them, and PB Sandwiches is one of them. TSM currently in 8th place with 32 points. PB Sandwiches in 6th with 41. TSM has a mountain to climb, and they got to start with the first summit. It's Bowser. It's PB Sandwiches, and I'm not sure if that's TSM right in front of Bowser, but he's going to get taken out here. It's the ultimate that's going to come through. It is Reps, none other than TSM. 3 kill points for them, 2 for Imperial Hal.
Absolutely. So that'll put them up. They still got a long way to go to catch up to that top 3 placement, but at this rate, the speed of the kills, they'll be able to do it in no time.
It's a good start. Looks like, as you look at the top left, it will be a Fragment East and what we call Respawn Village finish. Shout out to Del Touche, who joined us as a guest on an ALGS broadcast, co-caster of mine in the past. Dubbed it Respawnville, which I'm going to roll with that one. Respawn Village to the right of Fragment East, where the respawn beacon is. Might be the finish there. Probably the truck right outside of that, according to my man Onset here, who's giving us some intel. So big shout out to, of course, our co-casters, Rain Day and Onset, and Kate and T squared on the desk, because we're now on board with CLG. It's iMadness, Lou, and Vaxlon. And for those that maybe just got into the ALGS scene, this CLG roster has been so interesting. CLG started off with Noko, aka No Cocoa Puffs, Nicewig, and iMadness. That was really the Backstreet Boys, or the boy band of Apex Legends early on. They actually all split up, formed their own rosters, and the CLG picked up what they thought was the best roster. It was iMadness, Vaxlon, and Pao, and they obviously dominated the summer circuit. They won a back-to-back championship. They won the PGL Apex Legends Showdown, and then had a really quiet autumn circuit where they didn't perform very well, thought they needed to make a roster change. They picked up Complexity's Lou, who then went to Rogue, and then, of course, Rogue disbanded. Lou joins the CLG squad, and I got to say, the CLG squad's looking great here, girl.
They are indeed, but they do have Team Cruelty pretty nearby. They did scan the beacon, so they know they're not going to be in the zone and overlook. It's pulling towards that respawn village, as you said earlier. But it seems like maybe they're going to stick around, maybe to scan the beacon again and play Edge of Zone with Pathfinder, it seems.
That's right. We'll see how they decide to play it. TSM's Aberlelli, former member, one of the, hands down, you got to put him in the Hall of Fame for Apex Legends, is Alberlelli, now on Team Liquid. Excited to see what they can do. Now jumping on board with SolaFide, and just to kind of continue to set the stage for these teams, SolaFide, a squad that was formerly known as AimAssist, free agent squad, got picked up by SolaFide. They grinded their way from being amateur players way back in the online tournament series, started making noise and turning heads, and then won a championship in summer circuit, got picked up by SolaFide in the autumn circuit, and since then they've been a staple. This is a 3-player controller squad, all 3 individuals playing on controller. They were some of the first players, or at least all controller squad, to perform incredibly well. Snipedown was really the first controller player alongside Nicewig to prove that controller players can bang out way back in 2019. As we hop on board with an all keyboard and mouse squad at CLG.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of inspirational controller players, and it doesn't matter, mouse and keyboard controller player, you still need the skills, you still need the rotation, you still need the decision making and abilities to make it into these playoffs, because there are a lot of controller players out there that have not made playoffs. So obviously that's just not going to carry you through to the playoffs in Apex Legends. But CLG don't have the best spot, and I'm not sure if they know that just yet, that they're going to have to rotate, but they do have near of the edge of the zone when it pulls in the next zone.
It's true. Yeah, we'll see if they recognize that. They, of course, do have a Bloodhound, so if they did find a beacon, they could scan it, but not sure if they got that intel. Round's going to be closing in 50 seconds here, as they currently are decently positioned. We'll have to rotate eventually, as they don't have that intel that we had with that larger map. Shout out to our Obs team giving us that inside scoop on where we're going to be seeing the next map come, and it's going to be 3 hostiles detected for Vaxlon, so getting the intel that's needed. Very, very important. Meanwhile, Team XD, who won the initial fight on Harvester earlier on against We Know Shroud, well, they find themselves over in Geyser in a bit of a skirmish, but they're going to back out and reset wisely.
Yeah, maybe taking the tunnel with the Caustic team would be really good for them, but I believe there's a team just in their way, so they might have to opt for taking the hill. The hill isn't a bad spot as well. If you take that hill, there won't be anyone behind you, and you're just going to have to look forward from there, but there wouldn't be that much cover going down from the hill. So we'll see what they do later on. But here's SF, and they're definitely going to have to rotate 100%. They're pinging as to where they might be able to rotate or what teams are aware. Where do they want to play next? We're not sure. We're just going to have to wait to find out. There are so many teams left alive right now.
Exactly, and there's probably so many teams in Fragment East alongside them, so it's going to be a tough rotation. 17 squads still remaining. It is a stacked late game here. Buckle up and get ready, because the roller coaster is about to hit. Our final drop. The kill feed is going to be insane in 1 minute and 40 seconds here. Listen, actually, we're taking a look at Team Liquid now as they make their rotation or deciding how they're going to want to rotate. Now we're jumping aboard of Team Cruelty, currently in 7th place. Team Cruelty posted up right outside of Overlook, overlooking some of their opponents, trying to see if they can find some cheeky picks or level up their Evo shield. That'll obviously be important. Even 25 HP makes all the difference in these late game fights. As we're now watching SolaFide in circle. Gonna decide to push up here on one of the choke points. Gotta be careful, because I know that XD is nearby as well. Gotta be careful as SolaFide finds himself in a fight here, but we're going to jump on board with Team Liquid instead, as they're currently mapping out their decision-making process. And, of course, we got to keep an eye on this SolaFide fight here, as Designful and Co. decide to pick a fight on the choke point. XD is nearby. XD is lingering, and they're going to find themselves some early picks, early shots, early engagements. It is nothing but damage for Designful, and then you wonder why he's the kill leader. He is on fire right now, barely missing shots with the triple take, looking great right now as SolaFide, as things are finally going to slow down there.
Love the triple take by Designful. The 3x on it just gives you that short range but also long range with the triple take, and it can also be used as a hip fire for that close range. But now I'm bored with Team Liquid.
Yeah, let's go ahead, actually. I'd love to jump into a listen-in with Team Liquid in here, because this ring is going to be closing. It's going to be absolute madness. Let's go ahead and jump into a listen-in with Team Liquid.
Open.
I don't think there's a feasible way to get there.
Barrel.
Okay.
I can see a barrel in there.
That's in.
What's in? What's in?
This fucking rock over here.
Okay. Watch your what? East.
Yeah. They're fighting in here too. I'm watching tunnel. I'm watching the tunnel exit. You need to shoot this for me.
Broke the
They're
race.
trying to exit tunnel. Trying to exit tunnel.
Okay.
127 on him.
Black going up.
No.
I already used it. Fuck.
We're getting shot from high ground. We just need to focus the same thing, boys.
Yep.
I'm making sure we don't get wrapped on. Secure that fucking rock. This rock right here.
Yo, right here. They use
We're good
bubble.
from tunnel. Yeah, focus east.
Looking at me the flat line.
Look at me. We're good here. Play on me.
Coming.
We might have to fight these
Look up.
guys. Right,
Okay.
right.
Max, portal's over here. Portal's over here.
I don't have it. I don't have it.
Okay, fuck.
Move up here. Come to me. I gotta finish on one.
Down.
Bring your armor out.
Resin.
I'm getting naded, hang on. I'm getting shot in the fucking back, man.
And you hear the frustration right there from Team Liquid as they did everything they possibly could on that rotation, but a tough rotation nonetheless. Team Liquid is out of this one at 5th place. They will not secure a qualifying spot for the winter circuit. One team in a good position to do that, well, it's SolaFide.
Yeah, unfortunately that rock just wasn't the play. There was a team above them, there was a team under them. They just couldn't get out of that. The grenades just overwhelmed them as they were down, and they got finished off there. So,
and one point I want to make though, girl, is that's a great example as to why Gibraltar, I mean obviously it's situational, right? But Gibraltar right there would have kept them alive. Tough situation. They're running a bit of an off-meta team composition with Horizon. They're trying to shake things up a little bit, and certainly it made for an interesting game, number one. But right there, they could have used a Gibraltar or perhaps a Watson to fend off some of those nades. Obviously, Watson has kind of fallen out of meta, so perhaps not Watson. But nonetheless, I'm interested to see what Team Liquid decides here going in online tournament number 2 with their team comp.
Yeah, and perhaps opting to go underneath and pinching those teams in the tunnel may have been also the play, because it seems like the tunnel's in, they're fine. Pushing that team that they did 127 damage on would have pushed them in to fight each other, and then maybe they would have been the victors of the tunnel, because it had a lot more cover in the tunnel and potential rather than going for the rock and getting shot from both sides. But it's a lesson learned for another day.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the black hole was popped by the Horizon, so they were kind of all in on that fight, or could have been all in. Instead, I guess, hindsight is 2020 as we now jump on board a mouse and keyboard. Winning last game, now not looking so good for Frex, former teammate of NRG. He's looking to get the last laugh here. Finally, there's some way able to survive, for now at least, and should be able to get a revive here. Frex needs to heal back up, and it's all up to Zenile to hold things off. He's going to be able to get the revive on his teammate. They barely survive for now, but the zone is going to be way too much damage, and they perhaps underestimated the power of the zone there. Meanwhile, jumping on board with CLG, it's going to be Lou, formerly of Complexity, still rocking that clan tag, but Lou is going to be the last alive for CLG.
So Mouse and Keyboard were our 3rd place team. They're out. Lou is our 2nd place team. He's the only one left alive for his team, and there's still 9 squads remaining. So honestly, top 3 is anybody's game right now.
That's true. You like that, mate. Finds himself in a good position. They were in 4th. Mouse and Keyboard got taken out. CLG is looking to be in shambles, and, well, SolaFide looks to be in a position to secure this one. As I say that, Reps takes out Lou, so goodbye, CLG. 2 of our top 3 teams are out. That opens things up for You Like That, Mate to potentially sneak their way in. SolaFide talk about securing their own fate. Game 6 had to clutch up to guarantee that first place spot, a winter circuit qualifying spot in that prize pool, and it looks like they're going to do that. Meanwhile, You Like That, Mate's holding high ground.
Absolutely, and they were in 4th place coming into this game. A massive damage from Tech with the Mastiff going into that trailer. So they actually do have the potential to either make 2nd or 3rd, but no, Tech overextends by kicking the door down, and Snipe Down gets the knock. Will they get pushed? We are about to find out.
Yeah, that could be huge. You like that, Mate getting taken out. We mean the 4th place team is out of this one. TSM would need a monstrous game to make it, but a 1st place finish from TSM might be enough. It looks like the Watson ultimate's going to be dropped here, so hey, who said Watson's out of meta? You like that, Mate proving otherwise. And of course, the Pylon's doing what's needed. Reps is going to actually take out Senok. So 2 members of Sentinels get eliminated, I believe. SolaFide is literally on top of the world right now. Ultimate high ground and an ultimate position to close this one out. And the portal's going to be placed to help secure that rotation.
Absolutely, but they do decide to walk in. Oh, they decide to walk in and take the portal. They're going to do 2 separate things. They're not quite together here. SolaFide is managing to survive. There is a little bit of a head glitch for them here to play on, but they're getting focused by the high ground.
Yeah, they're still in a decent spot. Look at their overall shields. Put themselves in a decent position. I said ultimate high ground. It's actually going to be You Like That, Mate that takes it. Reps gets knocked by Rambo. Result and Designful both get taken out by Rogue and Stink. That is huge. Rogue of Ranked is harder. Putting in work right now, much like they did throughout the qualifiers. Now, on board with Matt Pickett, holding high ground. You got to think this is You Like That, Mate's game, girl. They are in ultimate position to close this one out.
Yes, and they are picking up a lot of kills. Wally catchers, they don't seem to be doing too good. SF was taken out earlier. Greek God, last one alive for his team, and they're taken out as well. You like that, mate? Is looking really good right now.
And from being in a tough position, leveraging the Watson pylon to keep them alive, now You Like That Mate is in such a good position to potentially win this. But we didn't know where Ranked is Harder was, and take a look at this. Ranked is Harder also in a nice high vertical type of position. We've seen that the North American finals have been the finals of verticality. Of course, games 1 and games 2 were the games of the lamppost. Holding high ground and maintaining high ground was so important. And now it looks like Ranked is Harder is going to do the same exact thing.
Rank is Harder looks like they're in a better position for the zone closing because the zone closes right in front of the house. But the thing is, if the teams underneath them end up pushing up top, then they're not in the best position. So it all ends up to, it's all up to what the other teams do.
Yeah. Girl, it's like a triple stacked Oreo over here towards the house, as we have 3 teams stacked, 1 on top of the house, 1 inside, and 1 below. Meanwhile, You Like That Mate is from afar, and their goal is to just watch as they all fight. However, they are going to have to rotate, so they might be the victim of Ranked is Harder on the high top of the house there, just putting in work and gatekeeping as much as they possibly can. They're going to keep having to heal up here, and the name of the game is wait and hope that all 3 teams fight. Pylon's going to go down, and that should secure them some defense against the defensive bombardment. Look at the damage being put in. The head glitch coming through from Tech. That might be enough. Who knows? Is Crummy's going to drop himself, obviously use a Q into the void. Not sure if he has an ultimate. No, he does not. As You Like That Mate is going to lose 1.
They're in just the open field. They're getting targeted by everyone here. It's surprising that they're still alive, but it seems like the zone's just going to push them and push them more into the other team, and they're going to go down. They're going to go down slowly.
Exactly. Another scenario where that Gibraltar safety net would have been helpful for artificial cover in the rotation, but just an unfortunate situation. They were the chosen ones. They were the odd ones out, and now that triple stack Oreo comes to fruition. Girl, do you like the cookie or do you like the cream? Right now I'm thinking it's the cookie on top. It's Rogue dropped. It's Rogue himself, and it's 0+ with Horizon as well. The ability to leverage that tactical to hold even higher of high ground. I think they're in a good spot.
They're in a fantastic spot, and even though they do not have a Wraith, and even though a lot of teams underestimated them, the Horizon play is coming in, and it looks like their gas is doing in a lot of damage. They're going to fall down and end up cleaning up, but will they be able to survive? Yes, they will. Their zone, their gas.
Because I'm hoping we got some crazy kill count that I'm just going to potentially go a little nutso on. What? What?
Whoa.
Holy hope. That's okay. Okay. Wow. There it is.
Well, they were a couple points behind TSM, and we said that TSM needed a 30 bomb to go and win this thing, and that SolaFide really would have had to end up dropping the ball. SolaFide only picked up 4 points in that game, so they really started to slow down. We'll end up finding out if that's going to be enough, but Flying Platypus had a couple of good games. Flashpoint still in the vicinity too, and then You Like That Mate creeping and crawling up that leaderboard throughout all this time. But I got a feel for CLG. You got to note that Madness did lag out of that last game, unfortunately. They had a really great shot. I feel like if he was in the game, it would have went a lot more differently for them.
Guess so, but that is, wow, that is, we had in our EU region, one team gets 17 points. And my goodness, that is definitely going to shake things up in the leaderboards, bringing that 18 kill count. That is a nice moment. Ranked is Harder. GG, well done. Absolutely. Let's take a look at what those overall standings mean. And let's crown ourselves an online tournament #1 winner circuit winner. Here we go, Tom. Oh, Christian Booknotes, get your family ready. Your fans of...
There's going to be popcorn all over the place.
All over the place. SolaFide bringing it in #1. GG. And Ranked is Harder up 7 slots, Tom. Holy gosh.
Hey, what's crazy is SolaFide only picked up around 10 points the final 3 games, Kate. They had 53 points, I believe, after the first 3 because they had such a phenomenal game #3. But it was actually Ranked is Harder who set the record today with 30 points. 18 kills overall. That boosted them up 7 points in the standings. Not only that, that's going to make them stamp their ticket into the playoffs as well. I believe we're giving away 3 slots here in North America. So You Like That Mate, Ranked is Harder, and SolaFide AimAssist are going to be making their way to the playoffs.